They won't say you changed them, only that your presence makes pretending expensive. When certain people tense up around you, notice what really twitches. It's not your voice, it's their mask. You don't agitate because you're too much. You agitate because you make the costume itch. Hands reach for a cracked porcelain mask, and the room acts like it was your hand that broke it. Meet your own night, and you'll glow like a quiet lantern. Everyone still avoiding their basements feels suddenly unlit. They confuse self-knowledge with judgment, composure with pride, boundaries with hostility. You didn't pick this fight. You became the mirror they stopped dusting. Stand calmly, and someone hiding from themselves will swear you're staring through them. They'll say you're different. They'll mutter you think you're above them. Translation: I can't disappear beside you anymore. That's why growth gets exiled, not because your light blinds, but because it outlines all the corners theirs never reached. When they look at you, they see the version they postponed. If you've ever watched a friend avoid a conversation that could free them, you've seen this moment. Eyes drift, jokes get louder, and suddenly you're the serious one for refusing to laugh at pain dressed as entertainment. Your presence ends the game where everyone pretends the house isn't on fire while complimenting the smoke. If people retreat as you heal, call you intense when you're simply awake, understand, your posture isn't the problem. Your clarity is just louder than their performance. Some only know connection through camouflage. Your stillness ruins the dress code. You didn't arrive to sedate rooms. You arrived to make truth conspicuous. Here's what really changes when you finally see yourself. The theater closes. You stop auditioning for acceptance, and the signal you emit is unmistakable to anyone still lip-syncing. That signal feels like daylight to a dilated pupil. It's bright but not cruel. It simply reveals what's already there. You become a reflective surface no one ordered. It exposes the trades they made, little lies for cheap safety, a dream pawned for applause. They don't see you. They see the boxes they never unpacked. That's what makes awareness dangerous in a culture organized by avoidance. You didn't need a speech. Your peace out-volumed the noise. Your straight lines bent their excuses. Your self-trust unhooked their control. Think about how quickly a conversation changes when someone refuses to be baited. The volume falls off a cliff. The plot loses its antagonist. People who relied on conflict to feel alive start looking for another script. Frightened egos do what frightened egos do. They throw paint and call it art. Projection is the oldest shortcut to relief. Export the storm. Pretend the sky cleared. Too honest, too deep, too much. The subtitles read, "You can see me, and I don't yet know how to." And that's the mirror effect. In a world hooked on illusion, authenticity is a fire alarm. Walk into a room and the temperature shifts. That's not magic, it's optics. If your calm invites defense, remember, they're not recoiling from your light, but from the shadows it traces. The room is not angry at the candle, it is startled by what the candle reveals on the walls. You can't shrink enough to save someone from their reflection. You can only keep shining until they recall the shape of truth. Psychological fact. The mind will sprint laps to avoid meeting itself. Unmet shadow, envy, shame, buried anger turns peace into exposure therapy. So instead of "your steadiness makes me insecure," you'll hear "you're full of yourself." Instead of "your boundaries show me mine are missing," they'll tag you cold, arrogant, distant. That's the trick. Paste the unprocessed onto the safest target, the sturdy one, because durability can hold what denial can't. If you've always been the reliable friend, you've probably been nominated as the villain more than once. Not because you were cruel, but because you stood there without collapsing, and that steadiness made the truth unavoidable. It isn't about you. It's about the parts of them startled by your freedom. Groundedness gets misread as judgment. When you stop living on defense, others must reckon with why theirs still stands. Calm sparks volatility in unexamined rooms. Clarity sounds like criticism to an ego living on static. Your presence doesn't expose them, their reflection does. You just refuse to blink, and the more you mend, the more magnets you grow. Healing draws out the unhealed, not as punishment, but as invitation. Wholeness is solvent. Gluey illusions begin to loosen. That is why they press for your reaction. Reaction resurrects the fog. If you stay still, the mirror holds, and they finally see what they've dodged. So they try to shatter it. Words like stones, angles like funhouse glass. Anything to breathe behind distortion. Deep down, they know the mirror isn't cruel. It's merely clear. If you felt penalized for perception, watch someone twist your calm into conflict to escape their story. You're watching projection in motion. They're not battling you. They're boxing with the awareness you represent. Your task isn't to prove innocence. It's to remain lucid enough that truth can keep reflecting until they're ready. That might look like pausing instead of arguing, breathing instead of explaining, stepping back instead of chasing closure that never closes. Projection thrives because our culture pays it a salary. We've built an emotional economy where avoidance is legal tender. Authenticity trades at a discount while performance hits the index. Numbness masquerades as grit. Control gets canonized as virtue. The world rewards volume over vision. Reflection slows the machine. If this resonates, hit like and thank you for supporting Mind Alchemy. Become conscious in a distraction factory and you jam its conveyor. Outrage sells better than self-knowledge. So we get taught to distrust depth, scoff at intuition, apologize for perception. A self-aware person doesn't buy identities, trends, or guilt-based compliance. Quiet discernment is terrible for business models built on panic. You've noticed companies praise urgency, not clarity. Friend groups trade gossip for intimacy. Families call silence disrespect when it's self-preservation. It's structural, not personal. The collective nervous system is wired to outsource discomfort. When you stop doing that, you deflate the market. Your peace is inflation. Blame loses value. One person waking up shakes the scaffolding. You're not too sensitive. You're done renting anesthesia. Stillness in a frantic culture looks like rebellion. A meeting where you choose one essential, sentence over 20 defensive ones can feel like mutiny, even though it's just maturity. Here's the part no one prints on a mug. When you stop absorbing projections, folks don't thank you, they accuse you. Awareness removes excuses. Not everyone wants the receipt. See clearly and you're judgmental. Stop reacting and you're cold. Draw boundaries and you've changed. They're right, you have. You quit being their mirror. For those who only know themselves by reflection, that feels like disappearance. Groups asleep choose a scapegoat who looks awake. The jokes cut deeper. Distance replaces candor. Compliments become warnings. Don't get too deep. Translation, stop making me aware. If you've ever been told to lighten up when you were simply telling the truth gently, you've met this threshold. Your presence shakes the architecture of denial. If you stop pretending, you threaten the habitat. Awareness feels like exile, but exile is initiation. Every truth teller looked like too much to ears hooked on quiet. They'll push until you question the very sight that freed you. That's the last defense. Smudge the glasses, doubt your lens, return to the fog. But resistance is proof of impact. The ego never flares at harmless light. When honesty costs belonging, freedom is closer than it looks. Think of the moments where you walked away from a table that required you to betray yourself. The loneliness felt sharp at first, then merciful. That gap you feared became space to breathe. If your calm inspires suspicion, your growth unsettles the familiar. Good. That isn't rejection, it's evidence. Your awareness reached a frequency denial can't breathe in. Stop apologizing to fit a story written for sleepers. Eventually you choose, defend awareness or embody it. See projection everywhere and you can't unsee it. Pain shuttles, parent to child, friend to friend, screen to screen. Shame hides in jokes, envy dresses as advice, guilt pretends to be care. At first the clarity hurts. You'll want to shout it into shape, but yelling at weather doesn't stop the rain. Transmutation begins in stillness. The storm subsides when you stop feeding the wind with your breath. Stop defending perception, let it direct you. Not mine, your body says as energy approaches. Every accusation becomes data. Every misunderstanding becomes direction. Resistance maps your leaks. Envy marks reclaimed light. Silence points to feared places. Projection isn't personal, it's diagnostic. Shift from absorption to observation, defense to discernment. Then chaos loses contagion and gains transparency. It passes through instead of into. This is alchemy. Poison composted into medicine, not by denial, but by metabolizing with attention. Now when arrows fly, you translate. Hear the wound under the words, the fear under the fire. Hold the pattern without becoming it. Quiet power knows when not to flinch. Authority isn't control over others. It's sovereignty over your nervous system. To stay open without absorbing, empathic without entangling, present without possession. What once drained you begins to educate you. Their storms were never assignments. They were invitations. Practice neutrality, anchor deeply, remain whole beside fracture. This is the curriculum of projection, clarity through contact. It refines you into a vessel that can hold truth without trembling. If you draw the unhealed, it's because transmutation has a frequency. Light dissolves noise. You don't mirror chaos. You melt it. You don't punish confusion. You stop feeding it. You don't erase anger. You let it burn clean without catching your hands. Most people feel destiny as repetition. Same argument, same chaos, same ache. But repetition isn't fate. It's the shadow driving without a license. When someone projects, it isn't just conflict. It's a telegram from the unconscious. Awareness creates polarity. Brightness summons backlash. That isn't punishment, just balance. To stand in light is to cast a shadow, and contrast attracts resistance. Stoic practice calls this temperance, unmoved power. Peace isn't passive, it's disciplined steadiness. The Tao whispers, the still lake reflects the sky because it isn't disturbed. Clarity arrives when force rests. The river that slows can finally reflect the mountain. While the torrent only carries foam, you're not here to dodge projection. You're here to understand it, how the unconscious rearranges itself in your vicinity. Meet projection with awareness, and you don't just change a moment. You nudge evolution. Every calm response untangles the web by a thread. Each choice for reflection over reaction tilts consciousness toward order. Awakening isn't about feeling better first. It's about becoming ballast in a stormy sea. If this resonates, you've already stepped into philosophy by practice. You're not fragile, you're formative. When you refuse to mirror madness, you demonstrate self-mastery to the room. You invite others to remember that clarity is contagious, and so is courage. Information without embodiment is armor, useful, heavy, and isolating. Embodiment is when knowledge sits down in the body. Shoulders soften when voices rise, breath slows when tension spikes, emotions pass through instead of printing on you. That's the moment you shift from reacting to regulating reality. You sense projection coming and decide, not mine. You stop wearing other people's weather. Compassion stops meaning carrying. It becomes openness without collapse. You can care without vanishing, love without leaving your center. You can listen without losing the thread of yourself. The first time you feel that difference, you realize how many years you confused self-erasure with kindness. Silence becomes fluent, not absence, but alignment. The pause that breaks the spell. You trust yourself enough to let the world reveal itself before you intervene. You know when to speak, when to step away, not from fear, but fluency. That's how generational storms end, not by sermon, by example. Peace isn't the finish line, it's evidence of integration. Wholeness is light recognizing itself in dark places. Tranquility is earned, not naive. It's clarity choosing itself after meeting chaos. The soft outlasts the hard, because still water is truer than rapids. The gentle hand often opens the most stubborn door. Your peace isn't withdrawal. It's evolution refusing reruns. Calm recalibrates rooms. Awareness is contagious. Embodied steadiness travels farther than outrage. Yes, the path feels lonely. Progress usually starts in isolation. History eventually leans toward the listeners, not just the loud. Every deep breath is a small revolution. The noisiest energy isn't the strongest, it's just the most afraid. Real power moves quietly. It balances more than it dominates. If this resonates, you're not drifting away, you're steering. You step beyond chaos into creation. The world will call that distance until it learns to call it direction. Let them call the quiet strange. Let them say you've changed. They're right, you no longer need storms to feel alive. You don't need volume to feel heard. Silence can carry entire truths. When they call you distant, they mean, I can't pull you into my weather. When they call you cold, they mean, you stop burning to warm me. You aren't abandoning. You're graduating from confusing exhaustion with love, from worshiping reaction as aliveness. You're not avoiding emotion. You're honoring it without kneeling to it. That is growth. That is power. That is the relief that arrives when you stop renting your nervous system to every passing wind. You've become the calm after generations of thunder, the one who ends what frenzy began. Some will misunderstand. Evolution always looks like rebellion to those who adore chaos. So let them project. Let them label stillness as odd. Peace isn't weakness. It's proof the interior war ended. If someone says, you've changed, smile and answer, I've returned. Return to rhythm, to truth, to the self that doesn't perform pain to prove pulse. If you're ready to be the calm that concludes the storm, say it out loud, write it down, teach your body to hear it. I choose peace, strength, not surrender. Hold it long enough, and the world learns the tune. And if you need a practice for the moments when the room tilts and the old script calls your name, try this simple pattern. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Let your shoulders drop on the exhale, as if you're setting down a backpack you forgot you were carrying. Count 3 breaths, then ask yourself a gentle question. What here is mine? Name it. What here is not mine? Let it go. If the conversation becomes a whirlpool, plant your feet on the ground and feel the contact. Notice the exact points where your shoes meet the floor. That tiny certainty breaks the trance. You are back. The mirror steadies. The story slows. In friendships, play with a new rule. Truth before tension. Say one small, honest sentence earlier than you used to. The kind that respects both people. I want to honor you and myself. so I'll answer slowly. Notice how often that single sentence removes the need for a 20-minute defense. In family, try permission before protection. I hear you. I can't hold this right now. Let's revisit tomorrow. It will feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar is not unkind. In work, practice clarity over speed. Ask the one question that would make the next 10 emails unnecessary. Watch urgency collapse into order because someone dared to be precise. When projection lands on you in public, use the pocket mirror you carry everywhere, your attention. Slide it inward. Slow your eyes before you slow your mouth. Keep your voice 1 measure lower and 1 mile softer. It communicates safety to your body first, then to theirs. Replace, "No, that's not fair," with "I hear the frustration. Here's what I'm available for." Now you've drawn a line without drawing blood. This is what sovereignty sounds like at conversational volume. It doesn't humiliate, it delineates. Remember that some relationships were designed by your past to protect your past. When you stop needing the protection, you'll stop fitting the design. Grieve it, don't villainize it. Not all endings are indictments. Many are graduations with the tassel turned in silence. Let yourself be new without demanding that history understands. Your nervous system will look for the old hallway even when the new door is open. That is not failure. That is muscle memory learning a better posture. There will be days you want to dim again, to trade clarity for company, to slip on the old costume just to be invited back into rooms that once felt like home. On those days, remember the cost. Your breath gets shallow, your laughter gets sharp, and your eyes keep searching for exits. You were not built to live at the edge of flight. You were built to stand where your spine remembers it is a column and not a fuse. Expect the backlash to taper as you stay kind and consistent. People who call your quiet rigid will eventually feel how flexible it really is. It bends around reality without breaking around panic. In time, your steadiness becomes an ecosystem. People exhale near you and don't know why. Strangers trust you with their real questions. Rooms recalibrate when you enter, not because you command them, but because you stopped borrowing their temperature to know your own. You will still make mistakes. You will still snap, still explain, still overfunction some days. Let that be human, not shameful. Apologize quickly when necessary, adjust the boundary, return to center. The goal is not perfect serenity. The goal is a reliable return. A home inside you with lights that turn on when life storms the power lines. Each time you come back faster than before, you are proof that learning is possible without punishment. Teach yourself to celebrate the smallest evidence of growth. The unsent text, the meeting you left on time, the conversation you didn't rehearse 10 times in your head, the evening you sat with the ache and didn't translate it into a mission. These are quiet milestones in a loud world. You won't get a parade for them, but you will get your life back in inches, then feet, then miles. One day, you notice the horizon again and realize you're not marching to impress the crowd. You're walking because your legs work and the air is good. If anyone tells you peace is boring, they have confused drama with depth. Peace is not an empty room. Peace is a room where the furniture finally matches the floor. Peace is not a life without edges. It is a life that doesn't use edges as weapons. Peace is not the coward's retreat. It is the artisan's craft. It takes attention to sand the splinters, humility to repair the chair you broke, courage to sit in it again without gripping the armrests. You are allowed to be both strong and soft. You are allowed to speak gently and mean every syllable. You are allowed to leave conversations that make you small and still wish the other person well. You are allowed to forgive slowly. You are allowed to stop performing pain to prove you care. You are allowed to be ordinary on the outside, while your interior becomes a cathedral where truth echoes kindly. Quiet power knows when not to flinch. You don't mirror chaos, you melt it. Let the world be loud where it must be loud. Let your life be tuned to a steadier key. You are not the storm's narrator, you are the coast that holds. And when the tide returns with calmer water, you will still be here, unafraid of your own reflection, unafraid of anyone else's. So let them talk, let them test, let them call your stillness strange. They do not have to understand your peace for it to be peace. Keep breathing like you mean it. Keep choosing the line that tells the truth without turning the knife. Keep walking your street at the pace of a human and not a siren. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming directed. And the more you aim your life at what is real, the less room there is for whatever asked you to pretend. If there is one sentence to carry from here, carry this. Your clarity is not cruelty. Your calm is not contempt. Your boundaries are not barbed wire. They are a garden fence. You can invite people in and still close the gate at dusk. You can love people fiercely and still let them live with the weather they create. You can wish them sunlight and refuse to hold their umbrella forever. This is not meanness. This is maturity with a pulse. By now you know why truth-tellers are often exiled first and consulted later. The circle that dismissed you will someday quote you. The conversation that mocked you will someday mirror you. You don't have to wait for that day to respect yourself now. Let your life be a field report, not a press release. Let your peace be the document stamped and signed by evenings where you chose to be honest, by mornings where you chose to be kind, by afternoons where you chose to be clear. Stand as you are, see as you do, speak when it helps, be silent when it heals, return when you drift, rest when you're tired, begin again when the sun changes the angle of the room. This is not a performance, this is a practice. And practice, kept long enough, looks like character. Character kept long enough looks like freedom. Freedom kept long enough looks like peace that no longer needs anyone's permission to exist. They won't say you changed them, only that your presence makes pretending expensive. Let that be enough. Let that be your quiet evidence. And when the echoes rise again, and someone tries to pull you back into the fog, remember the simple sentence that anchors every step you take from here. I choose peace, not as surrender, but as strength.